guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my favorite topic, and that is eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if it has been created before or not. I am assuming that I created it. So we're going to talk about an eyeshadow palette tag but color edition. So we're going to talk about like best of everything in color in the eyeshadow palettes department. So if you're ready, let's begin. So let's first finish off with all the colors, and then we'll go with like the most unique, most rainbow, all those categories. But yeah, let's start off with my favorite color to wear on my eyes, and that is purples. For the best purple palette, I actually have two. If you need like a bigger version or if you need like a smaller version, I have you all covered. For the small eyeshadow palette, I have to mention Natasha Denona's Mini Love palette. Now this, I know when you hear like love and everything, pinks come into the mind, but this is definitely leaning a lot more on the purple side. This is the only pink shade I would say. If you take this off, rest everything leans little more on the purplier side. I love this. I'm so happy that how deep this palette can go. You definitely can achieve a lot of variety with this eyeshadow palette. You definitely can go a lot more like pinky. You can go like totally matte. You can go with like this beautiful duochrome. It is absolutely stunning. So if you're on a budget and you do not want like overwhelming amount of shades for purples, I think this is like a great starting point. And the formula, obviously Natasha Denona does like amazing formulas, so this is no exception at all. I love this. This is like one of my favorites from Natasha Denona in my collection for sure. The next purple palette that I have to mention, now if you guys are a regular watcher on this channel, you know which is my favorite purple palette, and this is definitely ABH's Normina 5 palette. This is like my dream palette. Like if you love purples, you are gonna go bananas with this palette. This is so amazing. The depth, the variety of purples that you get is amazing. It leans a lot on the mauvier side, more pastel-y side, more cool tone, more warm tone. They have like a glitter topper here, and then it goes so deep and dark. I love it, and the quality is absolutely stunning. It does come with like a huge mirror, so you can like lay it flat or like just put it wherever you want. Love it. Absolutely love the quality as well as the formula. Love it. Okay, now let's talk about my favorite blue palette. Now, whenever I think of like my blue eyeshadow palette, I definitely want to dip into this, and this is from BH Cosmetics, and this is the Blueberry Muffin palette. Now, I don't know guys where BH Cosmetics is going after this bankruptcy and all. Oh my god. I've heard that Makeup Revolution is going to take over BH Cosmetics. I'm scared. I'm really scared. I really hope they don't like change this formula, or if Makeup Revolution can take the BH Cosmetics formula, I would love that, because they are also affordable like BH, but I'm not a big fan of Makeup Revolution's formula. This I love. Like I love the variety of the blues and like the purpley tones. This is absolutely a stunning blue palette. You can definitely go more cool tone. You can go a little more on the warm tone side. This is a beautiful duochrome. The lid shades are like stunning, absolutely stunning. Let me just swatch a few so that you can see what I'm talking about. Like love it, absolutely love it. Like look at that. Are you kidding me? This is stunning, absolutely breathtaking. Now, I'm a person who's like not too much into blues and greens and all, but if I am going for the blue, I'm basically going for those blue shades. So for that reason, this is like my favorite blue palette that I have in my collection. I do have a few more like blue palettes in my collection, but this is definitely like price point wise as well as like quality wise, definitely my favorite. Okay, now let's move on to the pink palettes. Now I am a person who doesn't wear like hot pinks on my eyes. When I'm basically wearing like either mauve tones or a little more on like a lighter muted pink, I would say. I love those pinks to wear, and for that my best pink palette I would say is Laura Lee Los Angeles Nuit 2 palette. Now I have a lot of pinks in my collection, but I generally do gravitate to this palette whenever I'm looking for like a pink palette. Love it. Like this all over the crease, or this in like the crease or the inner and the outer corners. This is such a beautiful deep dark shade. These two topper shades, stunning. Like absolutely breathtaking. It is so gorgeous. Like I have to swatch it. Like these are like so beautiful. You need to see the formula. I definitely feel that this is underrated. In my opinion, I would say for sure. Like, the formula is so pretty, so beautiful, and it blends stunningly on the eyes. Like, look at those shades. It's so pretty. It might even not it might not even like look like a pink palette, but I mean, when I am wearing like pinks on my eyes, I'm basically wearing those like mauvey muted tones, and I love it for that reason. I think she's done like an amazing job with this like formula, and the topper shades are so dimensional. Love it. Okay, next would be my favorite green palette, and I'm so glad that I took that step to get this palette in my collection, because I knew that I'm not a green person, but I definitely wanted like good ranges of greens when I want to do a green look, and for that reason I did purchase this. I do have a few green palettes lying here and there, like the Mandalorian palette, the Child palette. I have a couple of them, but this palette is truly amazing, and I'm talking about the Glam Light's Dirty Martini palette. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how many times I've dipped into this palette. The greens are stunning, like the mattes are so blendable, the shimmers are breathtaking. This so unusual shimmers, I would say. So beautiful. Let me swatch a couple of the shades for you guys. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. Like, so beautiful and so unusual for that matter, I would say. Like, so stunning. Look at those pigment. Oh my god, like I drool for this. Oh my god, look at the shine. I would slap someone if they come near me right now. I love this beautiful like bronzy shade. Has like a green shift to it. I don't know if you can see it or not. This olive green, oh my god, drool worthy. If you are a green person and if you were like eyeing this palette, I would say do not look twice. You would love it. I am not even like a green person. I actually hate greens on myself, but this palette, I've done some stunning looks using this palette, and that's not me. It's this palette. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, now let's talk about the coral palette. My best coral palette that I have in my collection. Again, I have two to talk about. I don't know if I should mention the second one or not, but I definitely would want to give you an option. So yeah, the first one is Sigma Scotted Rosa palette. This is definitely one of my favorite coral palettes, I would say. I love the looks that come out with it. Like, I love that you can go on the more pinkier side, more coral side, more on the neutral side. You can do a ton of looks using this. And as soon as you put this hybrid shade on your crease or anywhere on the lid, it turns into a coral look. I love it. I absolutely love it. I definitely have to get this out in the spring season. Definitely Sigma is like one of my favorite formulas in my collection, and I love this palette. The second coral palette that I have to mention is again a 5-pan palette. So if you don't want to invest in like a big palette, not saying that this is cheap by any means, but I got it at a discount, so excuse me for that. And this is Natasha Denona's coral palette. Now, I don't know if this can be considered as a coral palette or not, but I feel like these two shades, my favorite out of the palette, and these two are giving like the coral vibes of this palette. And this toppery shade is beautiful. I love the rusty orangey red shade, matte shade, and this beautiful metallic red shade is stunning. Love it. My favorite look to wear is like this in the crease, this all over my eyelid, and this in the inner corners. So beautiful. I've done like a dedicated look using this palette on my channel, and I love it. I love this palette so very much. I love that coral shade as a blush also. Love it. So versatile. I generally do use like this shade as my highlighter too. So pretty. So very pretty. I should actually show you. Like, this is such a stunning shade. Like, look at that. Oh my god. Love it. Like, I've lost my highlighter in the way. I actually got ready today in the morning to go to church, and then yeah, I did a lot of cooking after that. I ate my lunch after that. So yeah, it's like a few hours later in the day, but I still like love it. I'll get to the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today when I get to that palette. But nevertheless, I mean, I love that palette. I'm actually wearing that coral shade as a blush just to show you guys that shade. It's so versatile, man. I love it. Yeah, it just gets me all excited all over again. Okay, now let's talk about a berry palette. Like, my favorite season is like the fall season, and I love to wear berries like that time of the year. But when you ask me what is like my favorite berry palette, I would definitely say this. And this is Nabla's Wild Berry palette. This is like a 6 eyeshadow palette, but the tones in this, it's so beautiful, so lovely. I love that vibrant pink, this corally, like that berry, muted berry shade. This is a stunning shade. This is such a beautiful, like, muted pink but sparkly shade. This is a beautiful topper shade, like a duochrome topper shade. And this is like a satin shade just to blend everything out. Such a well thought out palette, in my opinion. Love it, absolutely love it. And Nabla's mattes are like stunning. Not saying that their shimmers are bad by any means, but their mattes, like, I love, absolutely love. Like, look at those shades. I mean, can you even look at the dimension, look at the shine, look at the smoothness, and it blends like that on the eyes. I mean, I love Nabla shadows. I do have like Nabla's big palettes as well as like these cutie palettes with like 6 pans. My favorite out of the Nabla line, I would say, is Wild Berry and the Platinum palette. Oh my god, stunning, absolutely out of the world. Okay, I definitely did want to include yellow. I don't think the color would be complete if I do not mention like my favorite yellow palette. But truth being told, I do not wear a lot of yellows on my eyes. I am not that kind of a person. I do not like yellows on me at all. But saying that, if I had to mention one, I would definitely mention the Wet n Wild Call Me Sunshine palette. If I'm going for that yellow look, you bet I'm gonna wear like these kind of yellows, like mustardy or like golds on my eyes. And for that reason, I'm gonna mention this. And this again is Wet n Wild Call Me Sunshine palette. But I have to tell you, like, I do not have like a solid yellow palette in my collection, I would say. But if I'm like looking for like a particular yellow shade, I do have like one matte yellow shade, and this is from Ofra, and this is bright yellow from Ofra, and this is such a beautiful matte yellow shade, and this is stunning, like absolutely stunning, like on the crease. If you have to like pair it with, like, I generally do pair this with like a deep dark, you know, blackberry kind of shade. I love that. And I also do have like a metallic duochrome yellow shimmer shade, which is from Pretty Sphere Face, which I love this shadow. This might look like a simple, like straight up yellow shimmer shade, but this has like a beautiful blue duochrome. So when I'm wearing on my eyes, the way the light catches your eyeshadow, this looks like blue in some angles, pink in some angles, and yellow in some angles. Such a beautiful shade. I actually do have like a video where I'm wearing this eyeshadow and just bronzer in the crease, and it looks stunning. Like, look at that shadow. By the way, this is Pretty Sphere Face Flare. Love it. Like, apart from that Call Me Sunshine palette from Wet n Wild, these two are like more than enough for me for a yellow eyeshadow. Okay, now let's dive into the most unique palette in my collection. Now, this is like, color story wise, this is like my most unique palette in my collection. When I was like watching this palette to get it in my collection, I was like, these are some shades that I really want in my collection, because right now in this industry, it's very, very hard to find unique shades, and this is full of unique shade. And this is from Odins Eye, and this is the Giant Worlds palette, which was in collaboration with Annette's Makeup Corner. This is such a stunning palette. Like, the color story is so unique in my opinion. I love that you can do like a green look. This is such, like, the shimmers are so sparkly, so like textural on the eyes, like it glides smoothly, but when the light hits it, it gives so much more dimension and shine. Love it. These metallic like purple shades, this my favorite multi-chrome shade in my collection. Love it. This shade called Eternal is stunning. This green, this pink, like this purple, this blue, I do not have these shades in my collection. All rounded, I would say this palette is definitely unique. The only shade that I could say that I can like dupe is this black. Like, I'm not kidding. Such a beautiful palette. Let me just swatch a few shades for you guys, because why not? And you should see like how beautiful and stunning this palette is. So pretty. Like, everything for that matter is absolutely breathtaking. Oh my god. Stunning. Stunning. Like, look at that. Can you see that? The dimension and the shine that this palette gives is truly spectacular. Like, spectacular. Love it. So pretty. Like, yeah, definitely like one of the palettes that I really did not want to miss having in my collection. I would say this is such a gem. If you do have it in your collection, and I'm sorry you cannot buy this anymore because it was a limited edition palette, because it's a collaboration palette, but if you have it, you know it. Like, so pretty. Love it. My favorite pastel palette. Now again, this is a palette, I mean, pastels are the shades that I do not wear much because my skin tone is a little more on the tanner side. I am very afraid to wear pastels on me, but this palette completely changed the game for me, and this is definitely my favorite pastel palette, and this is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Mercury Retrograde palette. This is full of pastel shades, but like muted. It is so pretty, so dimensional, but this has definitely changed the game for me. Such a beautiful color story. You can do like a plethora of looks using this palette. I love the color story. Love the dimension, love the shimmers. The mattes are absolutely gorgeous. Comes with a mirror. The packaging is stunning. I can go on and on about this palette. I've actually done like a 5 looks using this palette on my channel. I'll link it in the icons above if you've not checked it out already. This definitely is one of my favorites. Okay, now let's talk about jewel tones. When I love to play with colors, jewel tones is the one that like jumps out to me, and my favorite jewel tone palette. I actually have 2 to mention. Both of them discontinued. I'm sorry, but I have to mention this because these 2 palettes are like my favorite, and I know a lot of you guys do have these palettes in your collection. The first palette, At Forest Side, and this is in collaboration with Raw Beauty Christie and Colourpop. This is such a stunning jewel tone palette. Love the greens, the blues, the pinks, the burgundies. Oh my god. Stunning, absolutely stunning palette. If you like to wear mattes more than shimmers, I would say this is a perfect palette for you. This palette only has like 3 shimmers. These 3 shimmers. One is like black with like copper sparkles all over it. This is such a beautiful yellow gold shade, and this is like a duochrome of like a green to a muted taupey shade. Love it. So beautiful. But the stunningness lies in these shades where the mattes are. Such beautiful color story. Oh my god. If you like jewel tones, you probably need to have this in collection if you do not have it already. And I know Colourpop brings it back like once in a while. I know that recently they did bring out this palette again. When they did some like discount coupon with like Christie, and I thought it was so required. Like, I think you should like just keep it permanent in your collection because this is such a beautiful color story, I would say. So beautiful, like lovely. Jewel tones are like my thing. If I wear colors, I just love these jewel tones, which are like, especially the jewel tones that are like muted. Love it. Not big on like rainbow palette, except the one that I'm going to mention. I'm not big on like bright rainbow palettes. When I talk of jewel tones, these are the 2 palettes that jump out to me. The second one is Colourpop's and So Jaded palette, which was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. If you guys have not seen this palette, oh my god, this is again a stunning palette with like jewel tones. This was more inspired by like gemstones. So pretty, and the shimmers, the mattes, everything breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. Love the shades. Definitely have to swatch a few for you guys. Oh my god, this is stunning. Stunning. This palette has like 30 shades, but it's not like that big, I would say. Not big like Morphe palettes. Very manageable, but with like more color options. I love the size of the color pop also. Oh my god, look at that. Whenever I swatch this, I want to play with it like even more. So pretty. Like, look at those shades. Can you even resist? I certainly cannot. Such a beautiful color story and such variety of looks that you can do with this palette. So pretty. Now let's move out of the colors for a little bit, because now we're going to talk about my best neutral palettes. Again, I have two in my collection. I definitely wanted to mention two because these are like either you love like rusty warm tone looks or you like pinky neutral looks. I have you both covered. If you are looking for like an overall like all-rounded color story in like the neutral category, you definitely need this. And this is Supreme Nudes from Artist Couture. The formula is stunning. The shades are gorgeous. This is so good for every day. Love it. Absolutely love that it goes from like very light shade to like very deep shade. You can definitely go more like warm tone as well as like cool tone. It does have an option of like that olive green, the bronzes, the coppers. Love it. So handy, so compact, and the packaging is stunning. Love this for a neutral eyeshadow wearer. I think this is stunning. But if you do not like more of like mustardy tones or warm tones and cool tones, and this you have already in your collection, and you lean more towards like a pinky brown neutrals, you need to have this in your collection. This is a palette I definitely use the most in my collection, I would say. And this is from Too Faced, and this is Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. This is so stunning. So stunning. I love to wear like mauvey pinky browns on my eyes. If I am doing like a 1 or a 2 eyeshadow look, you bet me I'm gonna wear this. I love to travel with this palette because this is such an overall all-rounded palette. You can definitely go more like on the chocolatey side, you can definitely go more on the warm toned coppery side, or you can stay with like rose golds and pinks on this side, and you can go super neutral with these shades. I love the variety. I know Too Faced is coming out with like a new palette which is called like Sunset Stripped palette. I think I would have enjoyed this more. I'm not going to buy that because I have this. I love this. Absolutely love it. Okay, now let's talk about my favorite warm tone palette in my collection. Now this might come as a surprise, but this I absolutely love the quality. And I know this is a palette that is duping another Natasha Denona palette, but I love the quality of this and did not buy that Natasha Denona bronze palette. Instead, I did go with like Alter Ego's Canyon palette, and I'm so glad that I did, because for $16, I got amazing formula, amazing shades. These shades are spectacular. Like I'm saying, like quality wise too, this is so stunning. You need to see some of these shades like swatched for you to understand. But I absolutely love these shades on me. I love bronzes, especially for like summers. So pretty, like so pretty. And it has like all the shades from the bronze palette, but yeah, such beautiful ones. And look at this, like this is like one swipe situation, and you can see those tones, like the bronzes, the browns, so pretty and so dimensional. It also has that duochrome pinky goldeny shade. Oh my god, love it. So beautiful. Definitely a must have if you did not buy Natasha Denona bronze palette only because of the price, and you want like, I won't say like the same quality, but if you want like a good quality eyeshadow palette, a warm tone eyeshadow palette inspired by the Natasha Denona bronze palette, you should definitely give this a go. I don't think you will be disappointed at all. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now let's talk about cool tone eyeshadow palette. Definitely that Nabla Platinum palette also included in this. Like I love it. I did not pick it up just because it was like not on the top of my head. It's okay. It's all okay. But when I think of like cool tone palettes, this is definitely the palette that like that just like jumps out of nowhere, I would say. This definitely is like my favorite favorite cool tone palette, and this is Sultry palette from ABH. Again, another discontinued palette. Shame, I know, but this is the palette that allowed me to fall in love with cool tone palettes. These shades are truly spectacular, like nothing less than amazingness in this palette. Beautiful tones. I love to wear this for like special occasion when I want like that glam look. So pretty, so beautiful. Definitely a must have in your collection, but I don't think you can find this anymore. But if you do have it, definitely don't waste it. Definitely use it. Love it. So pretty. Now let's talk about a all-rounded palette that if you are like a starter in the makeup, what is one palette that I would recommend to you guys? Amazing quality. If you don't know whether you like warm tones or cool tones, if you like colors or neutrals, if you're looking for like an all-rounded palette, definitely check Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. This, yeah, I don't even want to start because I can go on and on and on with this palette. This is truly Smithy in a palette. I love the shimmers. I love the mattes. I love the colors that she chose for this palette. Definitely my favorite from Dominique's Cosmetics so far. Love it. This was the first palette, but this is definitely my favorite. Love it. So pretty. The shades, like the colors are very muted, very jewel tone inspired. These shimmers are so stunning. They have a rose gold, they have a champagne, they have like more of a muted bronzy tone. They have like all the neutral mattes all covered for you guys. So pretty. Definitely, if you can snag it at a discounted price, I would highly recommend this. Love the quality. Okay, now let's talk about my favorite Duochrome palette. I have to mention this brand for Duochromes. No matter what your color story is for Duochromes, you need to try It's Belle Cosmetics. If you know me, you know that I love It's Belle Cosmetics because they give such amazing, stunning quality Duochromes. I have done like so many videos using this palette, and you can see the dent. Like I have actually had pan on this shade Larimar, and remember, I'm not even a greens person, but this is such a beautiful shifting palette. You definitely need to try this if you've not tried it already, especially if you love duochromes with like shimmers and sparkliness. It's not gritty at all, super smooth shimmers, but such an amazing quality. This is their first palette, which is called Break the Rules palette. This palette is like $27 or $28 for 9 amazing duochromes, like stunning duochromes. Such a beautiful color story. Cannot recommend enough. I recently did a video where you can like make your own multichromes using the duochrome shade, and I did feature these two palettes in that video. You can see it in action, how versatile this palette is. Beautiful. I've also done like 2 looks using each of this palette on my channel. If you'll give it a search, you'll definitely be able to find it. If I do not link it in the description box below, but I'll try to link everything in the description box below for you guys to check it out. Love It's Belle Cosmetics. If you are a duochrome fan, multichrome fan, you need this in your life for sure. You will not regret it at all. Now let's talk about my favorite eyeshadow formula. This is the brand that makes like my favorite eyeshadow formula, and this is Sydney Grace. I have Tiny Marvels palette, which was in collaboration with Mel Thompson. Such a beautiful color story, such a beautiful palette. Like Mel just left such a beautiful memory behind. I cannot thank her enough, and I love this palette, love the color story, love. This can also qualify as like my favorite pastel palette, but this palette is much more than a pastel palette. Like this is like my year all round, like my favorite palette. So pretty. But even if you do not want to like invest in a palette, the singles from Sydney Grace are truly stunning. Like I have, except these two, rest everything else is from Sydney Grace. Love. I have like a dedicated video swatching all the Sydney Grace singles. I have like a custom palette from Ofra, which I generally use like in my everyday life. I have like stuffed everything from Sydney Grace in the eyeshadow department in this palette. So all the eyeshadows that you're seeing here is all Sydney Grace. This is a few JD Glow shadows. This is from Ofra, this is from Ofra, and this is from Ofra. Rest everything is either from like Sydney Grace and a few from JD Glow. But yeah, love it. Oh, talking about the eyeshadow that I'm wearing, I'm only wearing 2 shadows from Sydney Grace on my eyelids. I basically do have Adore Me on my crease, and I do have Greatest Gift. It's a beautiful duochrome of like a pink to a green flip, and I'm wearing that on like my center of my eyelid, and that's all that I have on my eyes today. Beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows, such stunning quality. You will not regret it at all if you buy Sydney Grace eyeshadows. I am so sure about it. Love, love, love it. Now, the last question that I want to cover is my favorite rainbow palette. Now, when I talk of colors, as I said, I love jewel tones. This I was so even like hesitant of purchasing in my collection because I thought I'm not gonna wear these colors in my eyes, but when I wore this, oh my goodness, the eye looks that have come out of this palette are truly spectacular. And my favorite rainbow palette, without a doubt, is from Odins Eye, and this is the Hummingbird palette, which is in collaboration with Tina Fancy Face. Oh my goodness, if you've not seen this palette, you need it. Oh my god, this multi-chrome, oh, this is so stunning, so stunning. Oh, everything actually. This beautiful bronzy shade, this purple, spectacular, like kiss worthy, so nice. This green might look like a parrot green, but when you apply it with these like deep jewel tone mattes, so beautiful. Like, let me swatch a few shades for you guys just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Oh my god, because you definitely would go so bananas over this palette. I don't even have any doubt, and especially if you love colors. I've actually done like 3 looks using this palette already on my channel, so I'll link it in the eye cards above for you guys to check it out. Stunning quality eyeshadows, so creamy and so blendable. Beautiful, beautiful color story. Like, can you see that pink? And then you'll be able to see that gray and that green coming through. I don't know if you can see it or not. Such a beautiful, and especially when you pair it out like on top of any of the mattes, it transforms like so well. Love it. So beautiful, so pigmented, such easily blending shadows. This like was my first purchase from Odins Eye when I purchased the legendary Ravasa collection, and I have not looked back. Love the color scheme that they come out with, and they are the ones I think who does like unique color story to another level. Like, I love their color preferences, the way they, you know, put all the shades together. Definitely my eye like is always hooked on their launches. Like, love them. So that was like my eyeshadow palette tag color edition video for you guys. If you have like your favorite eyeshadow palettes color wise, do leave it down in the comment section below. Tag your favorite YouTuber who does makeup videos and just ask them to do this video, because I would love to see people recreate this video and I would love to see their options that they come out with. But yes, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had a blast, and if you did like this, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.